Hey guys, it's Amy from the Final Countdown, and today I'm going to bring you a tutorial. It may be a little quiet. My husband is actually asleep, but I wanted to do this while I was waiting on another tutorial to upload. I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Poetic palette, and we're going to be doing a purple smoky eye. Now, I will warn you, this takes a little time. You gotta stay in there and you gotta blend. I've done looks like this before, and they've been okay, and I've gotten compliments on them. But when you blend, it really changes everything. So what you'll need, because I just don't like, you could use this color, this light color as a transition, but it's a little too shimmery for my taste. Sorry, I dropped something. I like a nice neutral matte, so get out your fluffy brush. Of course, I'm sure y'all know I'm using a Limit from the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and I'm just putting it in the crease. And that's going to help kind of set, I do have primer potion on my eyes. It's going to kind of help set that and help lay the groundwork for this extreme look. Now this would probably look great for prom, or if you just want to go, I think I wore this when I was going to Ulta, you know. So if you're just wanting a little more dramatic look, be careful with these. These are really flaky. They are going to need cleaned up at the end. But you can be really careful and just like pat it in instead of like sweeping it on your lid. That really just kind of moves all the product around. See, I did get full out, but it's not terrible. But you really can tell the pigmentation is really great. This is the lightest shade. You can see how easy they go on. I'm not having to go back with 1,000 different coats of everything. And the pigmentation, actually, I really like, and it's really easy. It's not like some of the lighter colors in the Naked 3 palette that you really have to like put them on. Especially my skin tone is really close to a lot of the colors. But next, what we're going to do, we're going to take this medium shade right here. And I love this color. I actually like all three of the purples. I think the darkest one is probably my favorite. But we're just going to take this. I'm bending down to see my mirror, guys. Kind of on the outside because it will kind of help transition. That's what I like about doing these smoky eyes, is the more colors that you use to kind of make it, I think about when I was in art, we would always practice the lightest we could get our pencils all the way to the dark, and just be in a straight line, and just trying to get that as smooth as possible, even though you're trying to do it in a square. It's amazing the things that you can use from your art studies in other places, such as makeup. And I mean, honestly, you might not be able to tell a great difference, but when it's all said and done, it's definitely a big difference. Now, I'm going to do something a little different than I had originally done. I'm going to take this Maybelline Master Smoky Eye Stick thing. The thing about this is this does not work well as the directions tell. I was honestly surprised this does not smudge. And what I'm really trying to do is just lay a foundation for the really, really dark color that's about to go on. Now, one thing I have done in the past with this is I've actually drawn it up here. And what you do is you just take your smoky middle color, and you drag it up, and then you can kind of go back in towards the bottom and, you know, gradiate it to a little bit darker, and it looks really good, especially on my eyes because they're hooded. But I wanted to do something a little more wearable. Okay, now because it's a cream, you know, the idea behind it is going back and setting it with this really dark purple color. It's so beautiful. I'm sure my light's too bright to really show how beautiful it is. It's a little more plummy in real life. It really just, imagine yourself in the store and walking by and seeing the beautiful plums there. That dark, deep purple, it is shimmery. You do have to be careful with this. We will have to blend this out. I am going to bring it underneath the eye a little bit. And you can see a lot of the fallout. Same thing other side. And you might be wondering, I'm not taking it too far in yet. I'm really trying to concentrate that color and get it under the eye. As you can tell, this is kind of a mess so far. But we'll work it out. Don't worry about it. We are going to bring a little bit in here to help round the eye out. I really think it kind of, for me, helps set the crease in, that it's definitely there, and it kind of makes my eyes look a little more almond instead of rounded, and not so tired. It kind of lifts them up a little bit. Okay, now here's the tricky part, guys. Blending. You do want that color to go up a little bit. It will lighten it a little bit to where it's not so harsh. If you want to go back in and put a little more, feel free to go back in, like right here. I'll probably do that and I'll show you guys. The only thing that I really just do not care about this look is just the amount of fallout that I get from the palette. See how that comes up a little bit, guys? That's why I've mentioned in other tutorials, you don't want to start putting your makeup up here where you're going to end up with it, because by the time you start blending it, it's going to end up way up here, and you don't want that. I read a hilarious post about, I think it was 23 things every woman thinks when she goes to Sephora, and one of them was about how one of the girls had made her eyeshadow up to her forehead. It was quite funny. Alright, now you can see it's quite blended. It is quite dark, but we're going to try to make this look great. We're going to try to make this look perfect. I'm going to go back in here just a little bit to bring it in. Right there. A little bit in. Just to kind of freshen it up, guys. And I am going to kind of go back over that a little bit. Blend it out so there's no harsh lines. I mean, that's the big thing, guys. No harsh lines. You don't want them. I am going to go back in with that lightest shade that's really light and purple and shimmery. And I'm going to pop some in the middle to kind of brighten up the middle of the eye. And it also, again, helps with blending. I know a great trick that I've seen if you don't want to mess with all the fallout that I'm going to be messing with, can you see, is to actually put tape under your eyes. I'm a little leery that I could probably do that, but that's just a trick that I've seen other artists do. Now what I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to go ahead and clean this up just a bit. The bad thing about it is this eyeshadow tends to really just drag, which is really bad when you go to put concealer underneath and brighten it up, because it almost turns your concealer a gray color. And we don't want that. We're trying to get rid of the purple and the gray underneath our eyes. We want it light and bright. You know, giving it a youthful look. We don't want to make ourselves look old. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we want to look our age. We don't want to make it look any worse. Okay, now I think I'm going to go ahead and use the pencil that came with, well, no, it's not sharpened. We're going to go back to the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liner in Black is Black, my favorito. Did I just use a Spanish word? We're just going to go in there. Sorry guys, I'm looking in the mirror. This one is okay to where you're going to see enough of the shadow if you have hooded eyes like I do. And you want to line the top. See, it still shows up. Usually what I try to do is I try to keep it thinner up here. I don't really go too far down. I've seen a lot of people that like to go all the way down to the tear duct. I don't do that. Just because I really don't have enough room on my eyes to do that. Okay, and now we're going to go down to the tight line, or sorry, to the waterline. If you think that, sometimes I notice that this right here just looks like it didn't quite get far enough down. One way to do that is to actually go under the eyelashes. Be very careful, you don't want to get this stuff in your eyes. So be careful. But that's just one thing I've seen that helps. And like I mentioned yesterday in the tutorial, I actually really like the trick of lining your eyes in the waterline. It gives a nice crisp line, and it actually seems to frame the eyes a little better. I was thinking about, and I guess I'm talking about my art a little more today, how if you have like a light pine frame on a picture, a white or beige matte, and then a very beigey type of painting, it's all going to wash out. But if you take and you frame it in colors like let's say a dark cherry, and then like a color like a green khaki or something, and then have like a light beige, like it's going to make it pop more, and it's going to make it look better. And that's really what this is about. I am going to go back for just a second, even though I just cleaned up that fallout. I'm going to take a little bit of that light purple under here to blend. I'm just using that flat brush that I have. Of course, you don't have to use the same brush as I do. If you have a brush that you like better, or if you have better quality brushes, feel free to use those. And see, it just kind of brightens it up a little bit. To further that, I'm going to go back to my Naked 3 palette, the Strange. I'm just going to highlight it liberally. I have heard that this is actually supposed to help, especially people who have their eyes a little closer together. I believe, if I did my research correctly, mine are actually about average width apart, where this actually kind of helps separate it. If you have really wide set eyes, it's not really recommended because it's going to make your eyes look like they're way over here. Again, y'all know the drill. A little highlight under the eyebrow bone. Clean it up a little bit if you need to. I'm going to try to blaze through this last part. Concealer. And I've really noticed if I don't try to put concealer or anything under this, it can look really dark and really heavy. So you really kind of need this highlight, whether you use the concealer like I do or not. it's almost like you need the lightness. And of course I'm going to bring that over a little bit. I'm going to bring it over here some. Down there. And I might need to blend that a little more. And just pat it out. I am not rubbing this. I am just gently patting this into my skin, kind of blending it as it goes. And really just kind of pressing it into the skin instead of swooshing it. Because this, my friends, can definitely get really chalky. And so I try to just spread it out and blend it as good as I can into the skin instead of swirling it all around and making streaks. Now this might be a little backwards to some people. I'm actually going to do my blush first. This blush is actually pretty intense, but the great thing about the Laura Geller foundation that I use, it'll actually help that color come through instead of having a bright dose of color. This is the Hard Candy Baked Blush, and it's in Bombshell. Now, if you wanted to go really extreme with this and contour and highlight and bronze, go ahead, feel free. I don't feel the need to do that. I like to kind of keep myself a little more natural in the face, even if I am doing a heavy eye. I know several makeup gurus, they'll actually say, you know, if you're really stepping it up, you know, do your contouring and everything like that. I am not one of those people who think that's necessary. I hope to learn more about it, though. I know quite a bit about it. I just don't have the products to do it. So, of course, going in with that Laura Geller Balance and Brighten in Fair. And I really love how this makes my skin look so even. Of course, you guys notice I do have some acne issues. It doesn't really, like, make them, like, you can still see the bumps. I don't know how you would hide the bumps themselves because they're, like, actually protruding from your face, but it really just kind of helps to blend everything, and it looks even. It looks healthy. It's not really flat. I've heard people talk about, you know, matte naturals and dewy finishes, and this really, I think, is matte, but it kind of helps you to kind of just glow instead of being dewy shiny. Next, I'm going to do my mascara. And this is the point when you're really looking close at your eyes, guys. Check for any spots that might need to be blended over again. What you can do is just take a clean blending brush. Don't worry about putting any more limit on it. Just go back, and I'm seeing just a spot right here that's just a little more dark than I really want. Gonna blend it a little more. And especially if you need under the eyes, don't be scared to blend under your eyes. I mean, keep under there and make it look flawless. Last but not least, a lot of people recommend that if you're wearing a really dark or dramatic eye, to wear something neutral. I mean, of course, that's what I'm going to do. But, I mean, if you want to put a pop of pink or something really cool like that, or if you have a purpley lipstick, go ahead, try it out. See and experiment with what you think you might like. Of course, this is very dramatic. You probably might not wear this to lunch with your mom, but it might look great for prom or a date night. It's really easy to wear. Like I said, I didn't bring the wing up too far like I did last time because I did notice, like, if I'm scratching or if it's hot and sweating, it kind of melts throughout the day. But a primer potion really helps with that. And I'm sorry this has gone a little long, but I absolutely love this color. My daughter's favorite color is purple, so I'm sure she'll be excited. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. As always, I love you guys, and I hope y'all are having a great day.